reasons that I pick up a sketchbook to draw on a regular basis is to relax. Retreating into my sketchbook for a few minutes every single day gives my mind and my body a little bit of time to decompress. It gives me that all-important me time, doing something for yourself that you really enjoy. And I really enjoy sketching. Yes, sometimes it can be frustrating, sometimes it can be hard work, but if you choose the right sketching exercises, tailored especially for relaxation, it can be surprisingly relaxing, mindful, and enjoyable too. So today I wanted to share with you 4 easy sketchbook exercises that can help you to relax. So let's go. Okay, so for the first idea for sketching when you want to relax, I love a doodling exercise, and the one I'd like to show you is called Mindful Circles, and it's one that is contained within my book, Sketchbook Challenge, 100 Prompts for Daily Drawing. And it's a simple warm-up exercise that involves just using a single pen and a single piece of paper or a sketchbook and drawing little circles continuously to slow down and relax. So let's dive into my sketchbook and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so welcome to my sketchbook here, and I've also opened pages 34 and 35 of my Sketchbook Challenge book, which just shows the explanation of this wonderful warm-up exercise, Mindful Circles, that requires just a small sketchbook and a fine liner pen, and it's a really simple, wonderful doodling practice that helps to induce mindfulness, relaxation, and calm. So this is my little sketchbook that's dedicated to this practice of drawing circles, but you can do this on a piece of paper or a little sketchbook like this. And how this works is that you grab a sketchbook page and you grab your pen, and the rule is that you just draw small circles, just relaxing into it. So I like to sort of take a deep breath and relax and just draw a small circle. The only rule is that you need to start and finish your circle, so we're not rushing this. We put the pen down, draw the circle, finish the circle, so complete the circle. And then what you can do is just start to allow these circles to build and move around the page. So I'll just show you some of the pages and things that I've done here, and these often happen naturally. And by naturally, what I mean is that I don't plan a pattern before I start. I just let the circles grow across the page. So some of these are very free-flowing and they just kind of squiggle and wriggle. Other times I just end up doing little clumps and clusters, and sometimes they sort of form natural shapes. And it's just a lovely way to relax, just to do these little circles and let them flow across the page in all sorts of different ways. And I find when the circles are lovely and small, I can just do a little bit of this and just keep it growing every time I come to the sketchbook page. So the second exercise that I'd love to show you, and an idea for your sketchbook, this is one that really helps to tap into your senses and for you to soothe and calm your nervous system. It's one that will encourage you to enter into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is that system of rest and digest. And this exercise involves drawing the breath. So it is an exercise that is a little free and a little abstract and requires you not to draw a something, so they haven't got the concentration of observational drawing, which essentially means drawing a something on your sketchbook page. You're not concentrating, you are observing. So let me show you how we do this. So drawing the breath is a really wonderful way of relaxing and connecting with your body and mind. I find this one a really soothing one, and it's one where I'm sketching and I actually can just let go of what I'm drawing. I've got a little example here of where I was drawing the breath. I was out on a walk sketching various pieces, and then I've just stopped and drawn the breath. Now obviously you can't draw the breath, it's air, so we're not actually drawing an object or a thing. What we're doing is drawing motion, and we're connecting a mark with how we're breathing. So what I would do with something like this, and there is no right or wrong way of doing this, grab a pencil, and as you inhale, make a mark on the page. And as you exhale, make a mark. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. You can do this in many forms, and it could just be inhale is a short mark, exhale is a short mark. Your breath can be any mark you want it to. It doesn't have to be an up and down line. That's just naturally what happened when I breathed at this particular moment as I was filming. Maybe the longer you do this, you find your breath is shallow, then it gets deeper and slower and full. And what this really helps you to do is be mindful and to connect movement, touch, pen on paper with the breath. What I'm enjoying is the process of breathing, the process of mark making, and the process of sketching. This is a really, really wonderful one to try out when you want to relax. Now, one way that I also like to relax in my sketchbooks is to play with my materials. I love to do this in all sorts of ways, but one thing I like to do in particular is to just mix up colours of paints. I think sometimes we can focus too much perhaps on producing a finished sketchbook page, whereas actually sometimes just mixing paints, experimenting with colour, and entering into that really playful side of us, perhaps trying to find a colour that represents our mood, can be a wonderful way to relax. You're just mixing colours without any pressure whatsoever, putting paint on the page and just generally enjoying. So let me show you this a little bit. So welcome to my sketchbooks, and here there are a few examples of where I have used colour mixing in different ways as a wonderful way to relax in my sketchbook. Now you can take colour mixing in a slightly more formal approach, creating a 12 colour colour wheel and just playing with paints, mixing to learn and understand how the paints work. But I also really love just playing for the sake of playing. So for example, here I've got an example from my sketchbook where I use watercolour and just kind of mixed up all sorts of colours that reminded me of autumn. The greens, the rusty oranges, those yellows, those ochres. And then one thing that I have as well is a specific sketchbook completely dedicated to mixing colours. And every now and again I'll grab a paint palette like this and I'll pick a couple of colours, maybe 2 or 3 colours, and I'll just mix. So this one was sort of magenta study. So magenta is a really bright pink, often a primary colour, and mixing it with a little bit of white or yellow just played with creating colour swatches. And then again here we've got some lovely blues that have been mixed up. This was a spring colour palette mixed up in gouache paint, and so it's something you can do with all sorts of types of paints, whether you're a watercolourist, you like working acrylic, you're exploring gouache or anything else. And I just find by mixing colours it helps me to relax because I'm not drawing anything, there isn't a subject, I'm not doing realistic or observational drawing. I'm just understanding my materials, which is one of the wonderful benefits also of doing this kind of relaxing exercise, is that you understand how to create different colours that you might want to use later on in different sketching exercises. So do have a bit of fun mixing colours and just seeing what happens in your sketchbooks. Now, the final way that I like to relax in my sketchbook is to focus on drawing nature. Now, there's a huge amount of studies on how being in green spaces and how observing the natural environment, drawing it, walking in it, breathing it in, smelling it, all the senses, nature can really soothe us and help us and calm us and help us to relax. So with that in mind, by sketching and drawing and observing nature in all sorts of ways, this can really help us to relax in our sketchbook. So let me show you a few examples of how I sketch nature and relax. So welcome back to a few more of my sketchbooks, and the final idea to sketch for relaxation, as I've just mentioned, is sketching nature, and this has to be one of the biggest subject matters that I personally sketch. And by sketching, you can do this in different ways. It doesn't have to involve big pictures of landscapes and paintings like this here. Very often, this can be something as simple as printing leaves. So for example, here, I've literally just used some ink pads and printed some leaves into my sketchbook. It's a great way to study nature and to look at shapes and forms. It's just simple printing into your sketchbook. I find this supremely relaxing. I also really enjoy looking at landscapes as a whole, so just immersing myself outdoors. Rather than doing studies that might take a bit longer, I will do things like these tonal thumbnail studies that might take maybe 3 or 4 minutes each. They're definitely under 5 minutes. Sometimes I do this in marker pen, like here, just a grey pen and a black pen. And again, just looking at nature, just being outdoors, it really helps me to relax. I'm spending 5 minutes outdoors with nature, and similar concept here, just in different colours. Sometimes, yes, I will do a full landscape study, but that requires me to have a bit more time, a paint palette and all the paints around. And I do love a bit of watercolour as well, just playing with a sort of pattern in this instance. And this was a tutorial that I've shared recently in my Inspire Sketching membership. So you can interpret nature in different ways, whether you have a nature journal, you're printing leaves, you're doing landscapes. Obviously, it's completely up to you. But the idea of observing nature, sketching it, it can really be a wonderful way to just connect with nature and, of course, relax. So I hope you found those ideas for sketching for relaxation really interesting. As always, my main aim with these YouTube videos is to share my love of sketching and my passionate belief that everyone is inherently creative and deserves the opportunity to sketch for me time, for relaxation, and for fun. I really want everybody watching these videos, taking part in my annual sketchbook challenge, taking part in my online courses and Inspire membership to really connect with their creative side and have so much fun with sketching. So I'd recommend taking one of these ideas today and giving it a try. If you want some more ideas for your sketchbook, have a look at my YouTube video, 5 things to doodle in your sketchbook. Happy sketching!